Hello everybody, hello, and welcome to this little show, which is to give you 3 cool tips on being more creative, on being infinitely creative now, if you like. This is me, 𝗤𝗪𝗪𝗧. I'm glad you're here, and I'm going to give you 3 tips. I'd say 3 fundamental things which for me underlie a lot of what being creative is. So if you've got any questions at any time, then please ask them. If you've got any comments, then please comment them. And I'm also going to show you a little bit about this, which is really why I'm doing this. It's my masterclass, which is starting on Monday. And if what it says on the screen looks good, there's something even better, because I've introduced a pay what you can scheme for those of you who would like that. And you can pay from very, very low price to a reasonable price, which is even lower than what this will be next year. So, hello, this is me, 𝗤𝗪𝗪𝗧, saying hello. Thanks for popping in. And yeah, if you've just joined, I'm going to give you three tips, very little tips, very modest tips, but very, very fundamental tips on, for me, what underlies creativity. You know, what does it take to create stuff on a regular basis? And feel free to say hello. You know, it's more of a chat show, but also I will be telling you the reason I'm doing this is to tell you that my Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass, it's brand new, starts on Monday, and I've introduced a new system where you choose how much you pay. You choose how much you invest in yourself. So that's pretty cool, I think, and it's going to be really wonderful. I've done masterclasses like this during this year, last year, did 2 last year, not the same one, on photography. And the experience was just wonderful. So much creativity came out of it. And I think I've done 3 or 4 5-day challenges now in the last year, since last year's lockdown started in January, and they were all just wonderful. So I'm glad you're here. Say hello, and I'll give you those tips. It's 𝗤𝗪𝗪𝗧. Hello, 𝗤𝗪𝗪𝗧. Nice to have you here. I hope you're doing fine. You might be interested in my new creative challenge starting, it's not a challenge actually, it's a masterclass starting in 3 days. So let me show you my first tip without further ado. And my first tip is one of the most fundamental things in being creative, in creating anything. And you might think this is a little bit strange, but you wouldn't believe how difficult this is for some people. Did you guess? It's just start. Just start the thing. My camera doesn't like to focus, but I think you can read that, and I think you get what I'm saying. You just have to start. Hello. You just have to start. And why is that so difficult? You know, there are well-known bits of the creative process which are particularly difficult. Starting is one of them. Keeping going is another. And finishing is another. There are these huge blocks to finishing and starting and keeping going that we put in front of ourselves. We invent them, most of them. You know, I mean, if you say you want to do something, well, why don't you just do it? Why do people go on about one day, I'll do this, whereas in fact they could do it this day? And in fact, there's only this day. But we sabotage ourselves. We don't start. We just do something else. We find any excuse not to start. So one of the things I will be doing on the masterclass, if I can just bring you back. Well, actually, I'll share the screen so that you can see the actual page I'm talking about here. On this masterclass, one of the things we look into is starting. In fact, the structure of the masterclass, I'll show you the structure of the masterclass. It has 5 modules. Actually, I can click on a button. Can I? I think it's program. It has 5 modules. And the first module is obviously the first module. It's about starting. And in the first module, I cover, funnily enough, starting, getting going. I mean, we talk about your project, because the idea is you bring a project. You don't come with no project, you have an idea. we make it clear in the first week how you will be able to finish something amazing in the 9 weeks of the program. But we talk about things like starting, how difficult it is to just start, what stops us, and then we get you going. We get you going, you know, you're not there to not start. So that is a really great part of the course, funnily enough. And you know, as we get to the end of the course, where we're learning about creativity and the productive process, of course you get to the end of the course, you're getting to the end of your project. And this is where the sort of procrastination, putting it off, getting scared, not the little devil comes in, making you do anything except finish your wonderful project. You know, you knew that you would feel great when you started doing it, but you wouldn't start. And now you know you'll feel great when you finish your project, but you won't finish it. I mean, I'm speaking from personal experience here, a lot. So at the end, this is a week, by the way. Module 1 is 1 week, very, very quick. You really get into it. You're on to module 2 in week 2 before you know it. Everything is designed to make this highly motivational. If I zoom down to module 5, which is the last module, it's 1 week. So the last module is very quick as well. And of course, in the last module, we're looking at finishing, getting the thing finished, the promise of this. And your mission, which you accept by coming on the masterclass, is to complete a project that you are really happy with, a creative project you're really happy with in 9 weeks. So that's the mission. That's what the program is designed to do. It gets you a wonderful finished project, creative project in 9 weeks. And you go away with everything you possibly need to be as creative and as productive as you want to be in the future with future projects. So that's module 5. Let me just come back a second, see if we've got any comments. Thomas, hello Thomas. Hi to everyone. Yeah, hi to everyone. There's just a couple of people here at the moment. Hello Thomas. Now Thomas is coming on my masterclass. Fantastic. Thomas, you'll find the structure is a little bit different to the photography masterclass. That's not exactly true. The structure of the modules is exactly the same. It'll be so familiar to you. The number of modules, the length of the modules. But what's different is you bring a project. I don't know what your project is. On the photography masterclass and on the writing masterclass, you're learning about the photographic process. You're learning about photography. You're learning about writing. In this case, you can bring any project. I'm not teaching you about your project, about your skill. You know, if it's polishing gemstones or cooking or gardening or running or knitting or sculpting or photography or poetry. I don't know what your project is, so I don't train you on that. I know what I don't know. So you come with that project. It's up to you to have the skills or to find the skills to do that project well. What you learn, what you have on this masterclass is 2 things. You have the motivation to finish it, the motivation to start, the motivation to continue, the motivation to finish it. And all throughout the 9 weeks, we are discovering all sorts of aspects of creativity and productivity. Where these ideas come from, how to let those ideas in, how to bring them into reality, how to produce on a regular basis, and how to finish the project. So that's the difference. So it's going to be very exciting because I don't know what Thomas is going to be bringing. I don't know what Dorothy's going to be bringing. I don't know what Vespin is going to be bringing. I don't know what your personal projects are, which makes it really exciting. But what I do know is that we'll be going through the process together. We'll be meeting every week in person on Zoom. We'll be discussing it. We'll be helping each other out. It's going to be great. So if you're wondering why I am telling you about creativity, well, all I can say is what I do right now. What are my weekly activities? What are my daily activities? I make no claims about having diplomas or certificates or degrees in anything at all. But what I can say is that I create stuff on a regular basis. I write, I photograph, I paint, I do poetry, I even make websites, and masterclasses and Paris retreats, and I coach people, and I do a lot of Facebook Lives. and Zoom calls. So you put all of that together, and I am constantly in the creative process, constantly. So that's all I can say to you. I mean, I can show you, for example, this is my Facebook profile page. You can see, let's make 2021 your creative breakthrough. And that is absolutely what I'm about, creativity, my number one passion. This is, ignore the banner, that's advertising something else, sorry. This is the Creative Smartphone Photography Group, and I do masterclass and Paris retreats on the subject of smartphone photography. This is the Infinite Creativity Now group, and this is all about all sorts of creativity. And we just ran a wonderful 5-day challenge in there, and we had some beautiful, wonderful creations from the people who took part. This is my creative blog and article writing group. Anything creative to do with writing, I'm interested, and I do it. I do articles, I write articles on this site here. It's called 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙢-𝗪𝗛𝗪𝗑𝗠, and I write about creativity, productivity, infinity, which is like life, the universe and everything, and curiosity, which is the weird side of life. So that's my sort of general creative stuff. This, yeah, so it could be poetry, it could be writing articles, it could be memes. Memes are good because you have to do the most powerful thing with words in the fewest words possible. It could be short stories. I don't go any longer than that because I like to have a result quite quickly. I'm very impatient. I want a result quickly. That's why I'm offering you this 9-week masterclass. In 9 weeks you will have an excellent result. And this is the Today's the Day group, where people appreciate their days from day to day, which is very, very dear to my heart. So that, let me give you my second tip now. Do you remember the first one? What was it? It was just start. Yes, indeed. Just start, people. Oh, I've got Anna. Anna, hello. How are you doing? Nice to have you here. This is a little bit of a promo for my masterclass, which is starting on Monday. And it's a masterclass. Maybe you caught it, actually. Maybe you saw what I was saying. And I'm offering 3 very simple but very powerful tips. And I'm backing them up a little bit with anecdotes or with ways in which the masterclass will help you with it. So the first one was this, just start. And how difficult is it sometimes to just start the project we say we want to do? So that is definitely something I talk about. And I'm saying amazing creativity is food for the soul. You know, Anna, I think you missed my my 5-day creative challenge, which I did in this group. Let me just show you. In the Infinite Creativity Now group, we had a challenge. This is the stuff about. That's not really. People contribute creative stuff. Let me just show you. Hang on. Let me just go to announcements. I'll put them there. So we had 5 videos and 5 days of activities, creative activities, and people contributing. And so there, for example, is the thread for the day 5 activities, the thread for the day 4, thread for the day 3, and people contributing their creations. We even had a break day in the middle of a 5-day challenge. Can you believe that? Rest is incredibly important for creativity. Anyway, so there's that. And great for health and happiness too. So what I was going to say, Anna, was that in one of my videos for the 5-day challenge, I went on and on about, I showed a little model, which is really me equating life, fun, and creativity. I had a kind of triangle with life, fun, and creativity, and an equal sign in the middle. And I honestly believe, I don't see any reason not to think that those 3 things are synonyms, the same thing: life, fun, creativity. And I know it isn't true for everybody. Not everyone can see things that way, but at least it's an ideal. I think if I'm alive, I want to like the fact that I've woken up every morning, and I want to be creative. I think we are creativity. I think life is creativity. So that's kind of why I go on so much about creativity. All I'm going on about really is having fun and enjoying life. And having this creative spark has helped me in some very, very difficult situations. It's kept me going, you know, in the deepest way possible. It's kept me going. when I've been really down, I've been able to write a poem or take a photograph which I thought was creative, and it's helped me. It's saved me. I would say it's saved me from some really difficult stuff. So it's almost a religion for me. So I'm going to give you my second tip. And this is another amazingly simple and amazingly important one. And it's what do you think it's going to be? Don't compare. That's my tip number 2. Don't compare. So important for energy. My favourite energy is your favourite subject. Yeah, maybe you can relate. You can add a synonym to life. Life is energy. Life, fun, creativity, energy. Why not? Doesn't matter, does it? We're making it all up anyway, so it doesn't matter. Don't compare. This is another thing that I see a lot of people having a huge problem with. You know, I don't say that as though I don't, but it's just a fact. So many people are worried about what other people will think. They compare themselves to others. And the funniest thing is, how can somebody tell you, if you're creating something, how can somebody tell you anything or say anything that has any meaning about something you have created? Because it's unique. It didn't exist before you created it, and then you created it, and now it's there, and it wasn't before. It doesn't matter if it's in the same style as something else, it's still unique. So I completely and utterly reject the idea of comparison having any worth in terms of just being purely creative. If you want to play the game of, you know, let's take nature photographs and have a competition and we'll vote and see who wins. You can do that if you want, but it's still a game. It doesn't mean anything. And I think fundamentally we have to be creative for ourselves first. And then we can share it. And it's a joy to share, and people love it when people do share. And then they get inspired to be creative themselves. And then they share back, and it's a beautiful circle. So first of all, we have to be confident enough to create anything at all. And then we share it, and nobody cares. Nobody cares if, you know, the people who take part in competitions, they obviously seem to care, but the competitions are made up anyway. You know, you can't compare one creative thing with another at the most basic level. You can't. It comes down to personal preference. So that's what I insist with anybody that I'm helping to be more creative, is first and foremost that it has no worth whatsoever. Then you can play games of competition. You can enter your picture in a competition if you want. I don't. I don't enter anything in anything. I just do stuff and I show it to people. And then they do stuff and they show me stuff, and we're both happy. That's easy, isn't it? 100% comparison is the killer of dreams. You know, there's places for societal rules and stuff. Without rules, without the things we learn as we grow up, I don't think society would exist as it does, but unfortunately it's got a lot of downsides. So I don't want to get into a big philosophical thing there, because I've got other shows that I do that on. So I'll show you something else. What else shall I show you? A little bit more about the Masterclass, if I can find it again. Yeah, well, let me tell you the prices. You know, straight away, you've got this page which you can go to. It's here. If you go here, infinitecreativitynow.com/mastercreate, this is the page which you're looking at now, and it has got loads of stuff on it. I hope it's interesting. I hope it's entertaining. And if you click any of these buttons here, pay what you can, you get. No, I didn't have to pay. I didn't have to click it actually, because I've got it here. You get to this page, and this is my new system. I'm trying this out. I want as many people as who want to do the masterclass to do it. Let me just get rid of that for a second. So if you want to do the masterclass, I want you to be able to do it. It's the first time I'm doing it. Like last year was the first time I did the photography masterclass. This is the first year I'm doing one. It's based on decades of creativity, as you can see. I mean, I can show you my, you know, this is my articles page where I write about creativity, productivity, infinity, which is the deep and meaningful stuff, and curiosity, which is the wild and wacky stuff. This is my Paris website for my Paris Photo Chronicles. I write a text and publish it with a Paris photograph, an artistic Paris photograph, every day. This is my artistic site for my abstract art, which is also deeply, well, it's both a game, it's both an intriguing game. My pictures have no beginning and no end. And I've imagined a whole series of metaphors to help you see life in a more positive way through my pictures. So that's that. This is my poetry site, hundreds and hundreds of poems. And, you know, it goes on. This is my coaching site. I have a linked website for my Paris retreats and my masterclasses, nothing to do with Paris. This is the page for this is a page for, well, are you going on a retreat abroad this year? Well, I don't know, to be honest. I put down this date, June 4th to 9th, 2021, but I've got a kind of feeling that isn't going to happen. But wonderful Paris retreats, photography retreat, writing retreat, and a transformational life retreat for people who are transitioning, like from the first half of their life to the second. And this is my page for my Paris for smartphone photography masterclass. So I'm showing you that because I want you to know that I myself I don't judge people, but I'm only interested in what someone has done in the last week or so. You know, if someone says to me I'm a writer, well, that's fine, that's good, great. But I'm really interested in what they've written in the last week. Because if they haven't written anything in the last week, or maybe the last month, or maybe the last 3 years, what's the point in saying they're a writer? They could say, I wrote this book 3 years ago. But I'm interested in now. I'm interested in the present and in pushing everyone, gently or pulling, whatever the person wants, to more creativity, to more life, to more fun, to more energy. That's what I'm about. And there's a danger if we, like in France, they're obsessed by qualifications. You've got a 55-year-old man looking for a job. They ask what his degree was, you know, and how many years did he study after school. And you know, that might be fair enough. But that has a large role to play in whether they take him on. You know, at 55 years old, that plays as much as important as all of his experience. You know, and what they have to pay him as well. So I'm not interested in that. I want to know what people are excited about creating this week. What have they done this week? What have they written? What have they painted? What have they sewn? What have they cooked? What have they designed? What have they imagined? So anyway, this is the pricing structure that I've come up with to let everybody in lockdown year do this. And it's very simple. You just choose. You just choose which you think is the most comfortable for you. There's no judgment. There's no difference if you choose the red button or the purple button. I couldn't care less. In terms of, you know, I won't note who paid what. That's got nothing to do with it. So this is literally to get anybody who wants to do this to go on this journey with me, on this journey. And as you can see, it goes from $30 to $180. So let me give you my third thing, shall I? By the way, any more comments on that? You can say hello. We can have a chat. What's creativity for you? What's your creative project that you've got in mind? Do you have a creative project in mind that you would love to work on quite steadily over the next few weeks? Don't worry, I'm not going to come to your house knocking saying, hey, you said you want to do this, sign here. But what would you love to get done in the next 9 weeks? What would be amazing if you could finish a 9-week creative project? What would it be? Let me know in the chat. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you my third mega tip, my mega mini tip, because they're not very big, but they're huge. Yeah, say hello if you've just joined, if you've just come on. I'm telling you all about my 3 mega mini tips or mini mega tips for creativity. And I'm telling you about my masterclass, which is starting on Monday. And it's got a wonderful pricing structure now, which is pay what you want. So I want everyone who wants to be creative with me over the next 9 weeks to do so, to be able to. Please come on this. It'll be amazing. I get very wonderful testimonials on my masterclasses. So it really is a wonderful experience. They're interactive. It's a great website. It's a fun website where we put the videos and stuff. Lots of interaction in the groups, and we meet once a week on Zoom, face to face. We talk about our stuff and how it's going. So anyway, here's the so tell me what your creative project is if you can. I'd love to know if you have a creative project. You know, it doesn't matter if you don't come on the masterclass, but what's your creative project? Tell me, what would you love to get done in the next few weeks? So the first one was just start, and how hard is that for some people? The next one was don't compare, and the last one is, here it comes, dun 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 dun. It is daily drips. Daily drips. I could have done daily doses, daily action. I went for daily drips for some reason. And this is a very simple idea, and it's incredibly powerful. All you have to do is a little bit every day, and the thing will get done. And it'll get done faster than you realise. That's even if you want something to get done. You could just decide that you're going to do a little bit of something every day without a particular end point in mind. For example, my Paris Photo Chronicles, let me just show you. Let's see if I can find them. Find one. This is kind of a different one, because I did a project. Sorry, Victoria. I did this project in a chapter. For me, a chapter is 9 pictures with 9 texts. And the text is, it's quite to be 150 words. But for this chapter, for this grid of 3 by 3, I decided I wanted to do something different. So, and also I was working on the challenge, and it was taking a lot of time. So I didn't have so much time. So I decided to do take one of my most significant poems, which is called My Reality, and take a couple of lines from it and put 1 word per day for 9 days on the Paris photo that I published. So that was the Paris photo. This was the day's word, free. It happened to be the last word. And you imagine I published one photograph like this with a different word in a different place for 9 days in a row. And the final grid, I published the grid, and every time I put a new photograph, I did it to the grid. The final grid, no, well actually let me show you some of the earlier grids to show you what I mean. Like this one, for example. This was one before. So there's the photograph, that's the word, and that's where the grid was. That was one before the end. You see, I didn't do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How boring is that? In any creative endeavour, ask yourself, how could I do this differently? If there's a way that it's normally done, well, don't do that. So I didn't publish, I must admit, the number 1 photograph that I published was up in the top left. I wanted to start with the beginning of the poem, the line, and I wanted to finish with the last line, the last square in the bottom. The words do go that way. I've done other things where they don't. And then I decided to scatter the words and see who could guess what the 9-word phrase was going to be. So if you go back through, it's on the website, but if you go back through these a bit, you'll see that the grid was being made up little by little. No one sees something, I, something, Paris, something, me, something. What could it be? Da-na-na-na. And if I go back to the top, you can see what it was. It was this. So that was the grid. Those are my 9 photographs, 1 photo and 1 text per day. And as it happens, the text was just 1 word, exceptionally. Normally there's quite a bit of a text. It could be about Paris, the history of Paris, a Paris curiosity, an anecdote. It could be about me, it could be about life, the universe and everything. It could be funny, could be sad, could be ironic, could be poetry. It doesn't matter. This is I've found my canvas, and I recommend you find yours. I talked a lot about this in one of the lessons on the challenge, the creative challenge, the creative breakthrough challenge. Your thing, finding your thing. I won't go on about it now because that's the topic. It was in the challenge, and it'll probably be in the masterclass as well. But I found a thing, or a thing found me, which was what you're looking at now. Whatever this is what found me. And the line was, no one sees what I see, 𝗣𝗪𝗪 set me free. And that isn't a line from the poem. No one sees what I see is a line from the poem. 𝗣𝗪𝗪 set me free is a line from the poem, but they don't follow on. It's just the way I happen to do it. No one sees what I see, 𝗣𝗪𝗪 set me free. 𝗣𝗪𝗪 set me free is the name of my website for Paris, and it's a very important little phrase for me. You can also read it two ways. It can be 𝗣𝗪𝗪 set me free, so in French, Paris m'a libéré. So I was in prison and Paris liberated me. But you could also imagine a kind of a ghost comma after the Paris. Paris set me free. In other words, it's Paris that is keeping me in prison. I'm supplicating her, if that's a word, to liberate me. So I like the fact, well, most people who attempt to write poetry or play with words do like the fact that you can play with words. So there you go. So I'm not quite sure why I was showing you that. Yes, I am sure. If you look at the number here, you see the number there, it says When Lady Eiffel Smiles, that's the name of this series, number 1116. And 1116 days ago, I did number 1. So in other words, that's the power of daily drips. You know, can you imagine? That's not just any old photograph. I had to be there. Things had to be right. I had to have certain skills. I had to have certain inspiration. I had to have time. Multiplied by 1116. So it's, as the French say, there's the French expression, ce n'est pas rien. It's not nothing. You know, it's far from being nothing. It's not trivial. And that's the power of daily drips. Doing a little bit every day. But that doesn't mean it's easy to discipline yourself to do a little bit every day. But once you have, it's as automatic and pleasing as brushing your teeth. And do you ever go to bed and you realize you haven't brushed your teeth and you actually force yourself to get up because there's just something about brushing your teeth? You just don't go to bed to sleep without brushing your teeth? Well, make your creative daily habit like that. And you can, except it's not that easy. You just, you need some help. And that's why I do what I do. Okay, so another comment from Anna. Will you put the link to your masterclass in the comments or in this post? Yeah, well, it's here. This is the link, infinitecreativitynow.com/mastercreate. And yeah, I guess I'm going to keep it at that, really. How many minutes? Yeah, about half an hour. So that's fine. I'll be doing another one of these tomorrow and another one on Sunday. And then we start the masterclass. So I would love you to come on it. As I just told you, let's see what happens when I share the screen again. That stays there. Good. Yeah. So if you go to this page, not that one. If you go to, those are the prices, extremely reasonable. Honestly, it's the first time I'm running this class, but it's based on a lot of experience and creativity and productivity. And so I'm offering this at, you have the possibility of paying practically nothing, and it's worth hundreds. And I will be, next year it will be hundreds. And I want you to come on it. I want you to share this experience with me. It'll be the first time I'm doing this masterclass, and I will be doing my own project with you. So not only will I be running it and helping you to create some amazing things, I will be doing my own, I've got my own project, which I will be doing with you. So on the Zoom calls, I will be sharing my progress as well, or my lack of it. So it's going to be a special one. It's going to be a really special one. I'd love you to come on it, and I'd love to share my well, basically what I say is thanks for being part of my creative universe and for letting me be part of yours. And that sums it up. It really does sum it up. Thanks for being part of my creative universe and for letting me be part of yours. It's a two-way process. It can't be anything but. I only do what I do, and it is what it is. And you do what you do, and it is what it is. But sometimes we don't value how amazing it actually is. So that's what I want to do. I want to help you value what you do. And if you've got some creativity which is kind of stuck inside you, you know it's there, but you just don't know how to let it out, or you wish you could, or you had it hammered out of you as a kid by the education system, you know, nice stuff like that, or by people telling you that you're, well, you know, she's not going to be Van Gogh, or, you know, whatever nasty little comments sunk into your psyche and stayed. This is where you get rid of them. This is where they get eliminated, they get shot down and replaced by the permission and the desire, the passion to create something really amazing. 9 weeks isn't that long, so you know it might seem it's longer than a week, but it's not that long. But if we work together on this, we can produce something that we are very proud of in 9 weeks. You know, a short book, a beautiful collection of photographs like we do on the photography masterclass, a beautiful collection of jewelry, a short collection of poems. You know, a poem a week, that's 9. But you know, maybe you're going to set yourself the task of 3 poems a week. That's a collection of 27 poems. Can you imagine? It's doable. When I have the urge to write a poem, when I sit down in the morning, and whatever the universe gives to me, it happens to be a poem inspired by the photograph and my life. Bam, that poem is done that day, that morning. It's done. So, you know, a collection of 27 poems in 9 weeks. 27 poems, that is, especially, can you imagine if you've never actually got a poem out of you, or you did one when you were a kid and one when you were an adult, and then after 9 weeks you could publish a collection of 27. That would be phenomenal. You know, how would you feel about yourself if you did that? And you know, fill in the gap. If poetry isn't your thing, but I don't know, creating recipes is, or creating knitting pullovers, or like I said, fill in the gap. That's what's on offer here, you know, in very, very good company, you know, beautiful people doing this together. And it's always nicer together, isn't it? J. Pat says, hello, Colin. Okay. I don't know who J. Pat is. And Colin is an interesting thing to call me. Well, hello. Anyway, hello. I don't know who you are, but hello. You're on YouTube. Okay, you're on YouTube. How are you doing? Nice to have you here. I'm afraid you've just missed the show. Well, maybe you haven't. Maybe you've been watching. But feel free to go back and watch the rest of it. Any more comments? Because I'm about to go, folks. I can see I've got a few people watching. Thank you. This is the creativity warm-up to my masterclass, which looks like this. And I gave you 3 tips. 3 powerful tips. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here, and it's really inspiring. If you go to this page, this page here, you go to this page, it's quite a fun read, you know, an inspiring read as well. Okay, like this bit here. Is there something you tell yourself, my ideas are great, but I can't finish anything? Well, read that and see if it rings any bells. Let's destroy some false beliefs. You need an official, to be highly creative and highly productive, false beliefs. You need an official diploma. You need years of experience. You need expensive materials. You need to work in the arts or in media. You need the blood of Leonardo da Vinci running through your veins. Well, no, actually, no. I don't have any of those. And the truth is far more exciting. So, you know, do read this. It's an entertaining read. And this is your mission, by the way, should you choose to accept it, is to become a creative and productive wizard. Any Harry Potter fans? As you define, develop and deliver a fantastic finished imaginative project of your choice in 9 exciting weeks to your great satisfaction and your friends and colleagues. Warm applause. Bravo, bravo. So, you know, I am creativity. Creativity is me. I will talk about it until the cows come home. Creativity, I also now use the word productivity hand in hand, because creativity sometimes gets stuck in the imagination, whereas to really impact people, to share beautiful stuff, to get feedback, impact other people's lives, you need to produce the stuff as well. So this is both. This is creativity and productivity hand in hand. And I've got Anna. Thanks, I've got to go. Yeah, I've got to go as well, Anna. So let's go together. Dancing off, skipping off hand in hand into the sunset of YouTube land and Facebook land. So I'll leave it there, folks. It's been fun. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for watching. And I hope you got inspired by some of those. And I'll come up with, I think I'll come up with 3 more tips for tomorrow. And then 3 more tips for the next day. So they won't be the same tips, okay? So if you want to know what tomorrow, I won't mention these. If you want to know what the 3 from today were, well, that doesn't make sense, does it? Because you're watching today's. But if someone watches tomorrow and they see my 3 tips from there, they won't know what these ones are. Ha! And if you want to know what my tips for tomorrow will be, you'll have to come along tomorrow. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Check out my masterclass and hope to see you on Monday. Or even before, if you join up. Okay, take care, everyone, and talk to you again soon. This is Seb in Paris.